I reviewed over a dozen Korean frozen foods and here are my top 10. Number 10, we have this instant hotdog with seeds. This is called siat hotdog in Korean and it's originally from the Korean port city of Busan, which is where I used to work and live. This hotdog is filled with a mix of nuts and brown sugar. It had a crispy outer shell while the inside was soft and doughy and the syrup was sweet and had a delicious cinnamon brown sugar flavor. Taking a bite of this really reminded me of the ones that I used to eat back in Busan. I was surprised that this frozen hotdog could taste this good and authentic. Number 9, we have this chili shrimp. I didn't expect this to taste that good, but man, this was almost restaurant quality. The fried shrimp was crunchy and fresh, and the sauce had a subtle, spicy, sweet and sour taste. If you told me that this was restaurant food, I would 100% believe you. Number 8, we have this red bean cream ball. This doughy rice cake ball is filled with a tasty red bean paste and cream cheese, and the combo just worked beautifully together. You get the rich, creamy taste of the cream cheese and the earthy, sweet flavors of the red bean, and together they taste just like heaven. This tastes something out of a Korean bakery. It's so good. Number 7, we have this bibigo beef fried rice. This is honestly a top tier frozen fried rice. This meal includes rice, cabbages, onions, yellow carrots, green beans, and soy marinated beef, and it's super easy to make. Everything tasted fresh and had a deep and rich smoky flavor. In my opinion, this is the best frozen fried rice that I've tried so far. Number 6, we have this shrimp cutlet. This was so delicious. The outside layer was crispy and crunchy, and the inside was filled with both mashed shrimps and small shrimp pieces. I highly recommend eating this with some tartar sauce. My favorite way is to eat this as a burger. This honestly tasted like the shrimp burger that you can find at the Lotteria in Korea. Number 5, we have this instant classic tteokbokki. Of all the tteokbokki that I've tried, this tasted almost like the tteokbokki that you will find at street food stalls in Korea. This instant tteokbokki is the 옛날 맛, or the classic flavor, and it includes the sauce, fish cakes, and rice cakes, and it's super easy to make. The rice cakes are chewy and soft, and the sauce isn't that spicy either, which makes it perfect for first-time eaters. Number 4, we have this potato pollock roe baguette. I wasn't expecting to like this that much, but this was super tasty. Once you take a bite, you get an explosion of delicious fishy roes that are flavorful, savory, and salty, and the soft mashed potatoes give it that creamy texture that makes this baguette super addictive to eat. Number 3, we have this pork and shrimp dumplings. These dumplings were just chef's kiss amazing. They were really well seasoned, and once you take a bite, you get an explosion of fatty seafood flavors that'll make you want more. For a frozen meal, this was pretty good, and I highly recommend it if you like dumplings. Number 2, we have this Pungabang. Pungabang is a fish-shaped cake that's filled with sweet red bean filling. The red beans were sweet, savory, and flavorful, and the bread was soft and chewy and had a rice cake-like texture. Once you take a bite, you get an explosion of sweet, creamy, earthy flavor. This really reminded me of the Pungabang that you can find at Korean street food stalls. It's really hard to find frozen food that can replicate that kind of taste experience, but I think this one comes close. And before we go to my number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. First is this kimchi pancake. This was so good. It's on the more expensive side, but it's spicy, sour, salty, and savory, and almost tastes like a legit restaurant quality kimchi pancake, and it's super easy to make. Next, we have this gangjang tteokbokki. The rice cakes were soft and chewy, and the sauce was sweet, tangy, and not at all spicy. This is good for first-time tteokbokki eaters who want a non-spicy Korean rice cake. And lastly, we have this strawberry hotdog. This hotdog comes with a strawberry filling that almost tastes more like candy than jam. The bread is crispy and goes really well with the filling. I recommend eating this with some cream cheese or vanilla ice cream for a more tasty experience. And finally, my number 1 pick for the best Korean frozen food is this rose tteokbokki. This was the tastiest tteokbokki that I've ever had. The long rice cakes were soft and chewy, and the sauce was spicy, creamy, and was packed with a lot of rich, savory flavors. I also love how the flavors played with my taste buds. At first, the tteokbokki tastes a bit spicy, and then the cream comes and alleviates the burning sensation, which makes it all the more tasty. I also really love the packet of croutons that came with this, as it gave the tteokbokki a nice crunchy texture and a surprisingly sweet taste. Of all the frozen food on this list, this rose tteokbokki tasted like a restaurant quality meal the most. And that's my list. Let me know what your favorite frozen Korean food is.